Bonjour les élèves, j'espère que vous allez bien. As we have said before, now you are at an advanced level. So we will be talking more in French and less in English. So today we are going to learn some certain things which is related to the bank. La banque est une institution essentielle. La banque est une institution essentielle. Bank is an essential institution. On dépense l'argent à la banque et on retire l'argent de la banque. On dépose l'argent à la banque et on retire l'argent de la banque. On dépose l'argent means we deposit money at the bank, and on retire l'argent de la banque means we take out money out of the bank. Here, one thing you have to notice is the usage of preposition. Aujourd'hui, nous allons apprendre les prépositions. Today, we are going to learn prepositions. Like, I will give you 3 examples. One is about on achète les mandats à la banque. The second one is je vais à la banque. And the third one is elle arrive de la banque. So now, in these 3 cases, in the first 2 cases, we are using à la banque. On achète les mandats à la banque, which means money orders are purchased at the bank, and the next sentence, je vais à la banque, means I am going to the bank. Remember, when we translate from French into English, it is at times difficult to translate the prepositions because prepositions are contextual. Like in the first case, when we are saying on achète les mandats à la banque, it means money orders are purchased at the bank. So here, à la banque is at the bank. And in the second case, je vais à la banque means I am going to the bank. So the same à la banque can be translated into 2 different ways, at the bank and to the bank. And in the third case, elle arrive de la banque means she is coming from the bank. In French, prepositions do change according to their gender and the noun that follows. In fact, it is not exactly the preposition. You have to understand that la banque is a feminine word. So, à la banque is for the feminine and de la banque is for the feminine. So, the preposition with the article comes together, à la banque. We have seen in our previous lesson that je vais au restaurant. In fact, like la banque is a feminine word, restaurant is a masculine word. So, à la banque is for the feminine word where the article la remains as it is, but in case of restaurant, à plus le becomes au. Therefore, je vais au restaurant. Further, if the word starts with a, e, I, o, u, in French, a, e, I, o, u, then it becomes L apostrophe. That means, les enfants vont à l'école. Children are going to the school. Les enfants vont à l'école. So it becomes a apostrophe, a with accent grave, with L apostrophe. Imaginons, nous allons à la banque. Imaginons, nous allons à la banque. Let's imagine we are going to the bank. Nous cherchons une banque pour acheter un mandat. Nous cherchons une banque pour acheter un mandat. We are looking for a bank to buy money order. On est dans la rue. On est dans la rue. So here again you have to remember the preposition on est dans la rue. We are on the street. So here don't actually translate contextually on the street. So it is always better not to translate and read it directly in French and remember it. Moi, excusez-moi monsieur, où est la banque ici? Excusez-moi monsieur, où est la banque ici? Monsieur, la banque est à la rue Monge. La banque est à la rue Monge. The bank is at Monge Street. Monge is a street which is very famous in Paris, and that area has lovely restaurants. So, when I asked, Monsieur, où est la banque ici? Monsieur means somebody on the street. A passerby replied, La banque est à la rue Monge. Moi, c'est loin. C'est loin. This is an expression which we have learned before. Is it far? Non, ce n'est pas très loin. So the passerby says, non, ce n'est pas très loin. Vous êtes sur rue de l'école de médecine. Vous marchez tout droit. Vous êtes sur le boulevard Saint-Michel. Vous traversez le boulevard et prenez la rue des Écoles. Vous continuez tout droit jusqu'à la rue Monge et puis tournez à droite et continuez tout droit. La banque sera à votre droite, au coin de la rue Monge et la rue de la Cépède. I know it's a bit too long for you to follow, so let's revise it. So, when I asked, is the bank too far? The passerby said, non, ce n'est pas très loin, means it's not very far. Vous êtes sur la rue de l'école de médecine. You are, we are at rue de l'école de médecine. Vous marchez tout droit. You walk straight. Vous êtes sur le boulevard Saint-Michel. You reach boulevard Saint-Michel, another very famous boulevard in Paris. Vous traversez le boulevard. You cross the boulevard and take rue des Écoles et prenez la rue des Écoles. Vous continuez tout droit jusqu'à la rue Monge. So you continue straight till Monge, rue Monge, which can be loosely translated as Monge Street. Puis tournez à droite, then turn to the right, and continuez tout droit, et continuez tout droit, and continue straight. The bank will be on your right. La banque sera à votre droite, au coin de la rue, at the corner of rue Monge and rue La Cépède. Il n'y a pas une banque près d'ici? Isn't there any bank nearby? Monsieur. The passerby says, je ne sais pas. Merci, monsieur. So, il n'y a pas une banque près d'ici. Is there any bank nearby? Monsieur says, je ne sais pas. I don't know. And I thanked him by saying, merci, monsieur. So here we have learned a couple of expressions. C'est loin. Is it far? Près d'ici. Is it nearby? Au coin de, in the corner of. In order to revise the prepositions, now we will practice another dialogue. So, we have already found out how to buy tickets at the railway station, and now we are going to talk about travel in a different way. Voyager means travel. It's a regular French verb, meaning the conjugation of the verb is je voyage, tu voyages, il voyage, elle voyage, nous voyageons, vous voyagez, il voyage, elle voyage. Here you have to remember that when we write nous voyageons, the spelling is very different from the rest of the conjugation. So, I repeat, je voyage, tu voyages, il voyage, elle voyage, nous voyageons, vous voyagez, il voyage, elle voyage. Je voyage à Paris. I am traveling to Paris. Il voyage à Chennai. He is traveling to Chennai. Elle voyage au Nepal. They are traveling to Nepal. So, again here you have to see how the preposition changes in front of the country's name. Like if it was he is traveling to India, it will be il voyage en Inde. And if the country is a masculine, like Morocco is Maroc, il voyage au Maroc, il voyage en Inde, il voyage en France. So now, in order to go and find out different kinds of traveling mode, we will learn different mode of transports. Je prends un avion pour aller en France. I am taking a flight for Paris or for France. Or you can say I am taking a flight to go to France. Il prend un train pour aller à Dehradun. He is taking a train to go to Dehradun. Now imagine a friend of ours called Ramanujan is leaving for Dehradun. Me, bonjour Ramanujan. Ramanujan, bonjour. Moi, pourquoi tu portes une valise? Pourquoi tu portes une valise? Ramanujan, parce que je pars pour Dehradun. Parce que je pars pour Dehradun. Ah bon, I said. Ah bon, prends-tu un train ou un avion? Prends-tu un train ou un avion? Je prends un train. Ramanujan says, je prends un train. D'où part le train? D'où part le train? Le train part de la gare New Delhi. Le train part de la gare New Delhi. Bon voyage Ramanujan. Ramanujan, merci, à bientôt. So, when I met him, I said, bonjour Ramanujan. He replied back by saying bonjour. I asked him, pourquoi tu portes une valise? Pourquoi tu portes une valise? Why are you carrying a suitcase? Porter means to carry. Porter is a regular French verb, so it's like je porte, tu portes, il porte, elle porte, nous portons, vous portez, il porte, elle porte. So, pourquoi tu portes une valise? Ramanujan says, parce que je pars pour Dehradun. Because I'm leaving for Dehradun. So, pourquoi is why, and the answer is parce que. So, this is again perhaps a new expression, pourquoi and parce que. Pourquoi tu portes une valise? Parce que je pars pour Dehradun. Moi, ah bon, prends-tu un train ou un avion? Prends-tu un train ou un avion? Ah bon means okay. Are you taking a train or a flight? Prends-tu un train ou un avion? Are you taking a train or a flight? Ramanujan, je prends un train. Je prends un train. I am taking a train. Then I asked, d'où part le train? D'où part le train? D apostrophe O U accent grave. D'où? D'où part le train means from where the train is leaving. Ramanujan says, le train part de la gare New Delhi. Le train part de la gare New Delhi. The train leaves from New Delhi railway station. Then I said, bon voyage Ramanujan. Bon voyage Ramanujan. We have already learned this expression. Whenever somebody leaves, we normally wish them bon voyage. Merci, à bientôt. Merci means thanks, which you know already. À bientôt means see you soon. In the previous lesson, we have also learned how to interact in a railway station, and in this lesson, we are also going to learn different means of transport, les moyens de transport. So, usually we travel by air, by train, not that much by boat, but also by bus, car, bike, and on foot. So, how do we say these things in French? En avion means by air. So, normally when we go from one country to the other, when you are traveling from India to Canada, you go by air. Nous voyageons au Canada en avion. Nous voyageons au Canada en avion. Between two cities, normally we travel by train. So, from New Delhi to Lucknow, we go by train. Nous voyageons à Lucknow en train. Bus is a regular mode of transport in the city. So, normally we say, je vais partir en bus. Je vais partir en bus. And we all use cars these days, and we can also say, je vais chez toi en voiture. I am going to go to your house by car. À pied. À pied means on foot. Je vais au marché. Je vais au marché à pied. I am going to the market on foot or walking. Je vais au parc à vélo. I am going to the park by cycle. And in addition to that, we have the metro rails these days in all the big cities. So, je vais aller par le métro. Je vais aller par le métro, or je vais aller chez toi au métro. Means I will go to your place by metro. So now, in this entire lesson, we have learned a few things regarding the bank, how to take directions, and also about little bit of traveling. We have already learned how to buy a ticket, comment acheter un billet. We have already learned some terms related to traveling and journey. Now, before we come to the end of the lesson, I will give you a very useful information. World's largest civil aeroplane producers are Boeing and Airbus. Airbus is called Airbus in French. Airbus est une société française et qui est aussi une société européenne. Airbus is a French company and which is also an European company now. I would request you after this class you must go and visit le site web de la Banque mondiale. You must try to visit the website of the World Bank. Remember, French is an international language. There is multiple international agencies which also offer their information in French language. So, before we come to an end, I would request you to go and find out about La Banque Mondiale and what are the opportunities they have for students. And till then, till we meet next, bonne continuation, à la prochaine et au revoir.